إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. ما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، خير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، شر الأمور محدثاتها، كل محدثة بدعة، كل بدعة ضلالة، كل ضلالة في النار. Tonight inshallah we'll cover a very important topic, and perhaps it's relative to our lives very much, in our daily life, and that is Bab al-Hiba. Bab al-Hiba. And this is the section of Hiba. When we say Hiba, we'll talk about what that means. في اللغة الهبة يعني من هبوب الريح ومروره. When the wind flows, it's called hubub or habbat al-rih. That is in the language, in the Arabic language. And perhaps يعني when the wind blows, brings a lot of good with it. And al-hiba itself is something good that brings benefit to both the person who's giving away and the person who's receiving it. أما في الاصطلاح يعني عند الفقهاء، عند العلماء، فهي تمليك في الحياة بغير عوض. تمليك في الحياة بغير عوض يعني to grant someone ownership of an object during your life without a return. Again, تمليك يعني to grant someone ownership of something that belongs to you during your life. Okay, during your life, بدون عوض يعني without any return. Without any return. So when you give someone a gift, so he can get you or intercede for you for a job, is that hiba? That is not hiba, even though they call it hadiyya, yani gift or hiba, because we will see that hiba and gift, yani hadiyya, sadaqa, charity, are all used interchangeably. Okay, but there is a difference between sadaqa and hiba, or sadaqa and hadiyya, and we will see that as we go inshallah. And the only difference يعني in the intention. The difference will be in the intention. We will see that. والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يأكل من الهدية ولكن لا يأكل من الصدقة. صلى الله عليه وسلم, if someone would be given a gift, he will eat from it, but if someone will give him a sadaqah, he won't. As he told Burayra, one of his slave women, and she was given a sadaqah, he said, هي لك صدقة ولنا هدية. It's for you as sadaqah and for us as gift. Okay, but in general, sadaqah and amwal al-zakah are not to be taken by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Ali Muhammad. Sadaqah, يعني the difference between charity and a gift. Sadaqah and hadiyah. Sadaqah, when you give it with the intention of getting the reward from Allah. You give it with the intention of reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. من أعطى غيره شيئا ونوى به التقرب إلى الله. يعني when they define sadaqah, they said whoever gives something. Now sadaqah, you need to يعني for a little bit stop thinking about the zakah, because zakah is an obligation. Sadaqah, yes, in the Quran, zakah is called sadaqah. إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين, the ayah. So Allah uses the word sadaqah to mean zakah, but it depends what the context is. Okay, but here when we're talking about sadaqah, we're talking about the voluntarily charity, يعني not the zakah. Something charity that you're not obligated to give. So whoever gives someone something with the intention of getting closer to Allah, يعني for the pleasure of Allah, this is called sadaqah. هدية من أعطى غيره ونوى به إكرام المعطي أو المعطى. He gives with the intention of honoring the one he's giving. Okay, so if I give you, يعني I love you, we have good relationship, you're close to me, whatever the situation, and you know I go overseas, I travel, and I find something, I say I'm gonna buy him something, I bring you something, I give it to you with the intention of honoring you, with the intention, expression of my love to you, how dear you are to me. This is called hadiyah, gift. Now the question is, will I be rewarded for the gift? Yes, you will be, inshallah. And the reason for that is because, one of the reasons is you're bringing happiness into the heart of the believer. And every time you make a Muslim happy, you're getting rewarded for it. Every time you harm a Muslim, you're getting punished for it. Okay, even تخويف المسلم haram. Just to scare a Muslim is haram. To hide behind a wall, you see your friend coming and you hide behind a wall and jump like a monkey in front of him to scare him, jokingly, that is haram. Even holding a piece of metal or something in your hand and pretending you want to attack him, that is haram. So scaring the Muslim is haram. Vice versa, making him happy is rewarding. Okay? The Prophet ﷺ, when he was asked about إتيان المرأة, having intercourse, he said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَفِي بِضْعِ أَحَدِكُمْ صَدَقَةٌ. Having intercourse and conjugal relationship and with your wife, with your spouse, is sadaqah. So the Sahaba said, the one is just fulfilling his desires. How can he be rewarded for it? فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أرأيت إن وضعها في حرام. Do you see that if he would have done it in a haram fashion, he commits zina, or fornication, or whatever, anything haram, will he be held accountable? Of course. There is punishment. سيئة ولا تقربوا الزنا. So it's haram to do it in a haram way. So when you choose to do it in the halal way, that is rewarding, inshallah. Same thing here. When you bring happy, if scaring a Muslim is haram, that means giving safety to a Muslim and making him feel comfortable is rewarding, inshallah. وكلاهما مستحب. الصدقة and الهدية مستحب, recommended. If you do them, you'll get rewarded. If you don't do them, there is no, you're not held accountable. There is no blame. Okay, that is تعريف المستحب or recommended, very quick. Now, question, I want to give someone sadaqah, but I don't want to offend him. I know usually when you give sadaqah it's because someone in need, but I don't want to offend him. I don't want him to feel that I'm doing him a favor. So I'm going to go to him and tell him, my intention is sadaqah, but I want to tell him it's a hadiyah, it's a gift. So I will not break his heart. Will you get the reward for hadiyah or you get the reward for sadaqah? Inshallah, you get the reward for sadaqah. Now if you remember when we talked about his zakah, we said when it comes to, should I tell the person I'm giving him that it's zakah or shouldn't I? Who remembers what the answer was? You have to give, the time comes, you give your zakah every Ramadan, perhaps, and the time comes and you want to distribute the zakah, the $20,000, $30,000 that you need to distribute as zakah, inshallah, you have to give it away. So you come to brother, someone who's needy, and you give him money. Should I tell him, or do I have to tell him that it's zakah money, or I don't have to?
You don't have to.
طيب جماعة
if you know that he's needy, you just give it to him. If you don't know that he's needy, you need to let him know.
But if I don't know that he's needy, then that means he might not deserving the zakah. He's not qualified to get zakah. You need to be sure. When you give your zakah, you need to be sure. Am I giving it to the right people or not? If you know, the answer, yani, if you know that the person would have problem knowing that it's zakah, then you should tell him.
I just remember that.
Something like that.
He was with Imam Ahl Sunnah. That's when Imam Ahmad rahimahullah.
نعم صحيح. If you know he might be offended, يعني he is very يعني he has very high dignity and ego, and if he knows that it's zakah, of course يعني some people should not feel that way. If he's needy, he's needy. Huh? Some people have يعني they might not accept, okay, out of dignity. If you know this person is like that, then you tell him, and then you give him the option to choose to take it or not. But if you don't, if you think he's indifferent, then you don't have to tell. Got it? All right. طيب. That has, يعني it's not related to this, but just refreshing. Now, what is better? Nah.
I wasn't here last week. I don't know. Maybe you answered this question, but could you go into the beginning of zakat? From what I understand, it started when the Prophet ﷺ migrated to Medina, and zakat was ordered to be given to the immigrants who followed him, who left Mecca with little or nothing, and he ordered the believers to, start giving zakat to help the migrants. Is that how it started? And also, zakat is just supposed to be for, say, Muslims, not just anybody on the street. The Muslims are who are striving in the way of Allah, and not just anybody on the street. I'm gonna give this as zakat. Could you verify that? Go over that some?
It's first of all, we talked about zakat for weeks, and that was like 3 years ago. Okay, but very quick because I don't wanna. I wanna finish this, inshallah. Zakah, according to the ulama, it's there's difference in opinion when it became obligated. Some say in the second year after Hijrah, some say the first year. But regardless, the story you mentioned about establishing the brotherhood between the Muhajirin, the immigrants, and the Ansar, the people in Medina when the Prophet ﷺ migrated, and he told them to share their wealth and all that, that wasn't zakah. That was sadaqah. Okay? That wasn't zakah, because the Prophet, the Sahaba, a lot of them left everything behind because they want to make hijrah, so they could not carry their stuff with them. So the Prophet ﷺ established the brotherhood between them, which is to obligate each one, or to make everyone share some of his wealth with his brother. Someone who lives in Medina shares with someone who just made hijrah. Okay? So it wasn't the zakah itself. Okay? Sa'd ibn al-Rabi' radiyallahu anhu, he came to Abdul Rahman bin Auf, and he told him, I split with you half of my wealth. I have 2 wives. Look which one you like more, I'll divorce her for you. This and that. So Abdul Rahman bin Auf said, I don't need any of that. Jazakallah khairan. Dullani ala suq al-Madinah. Just guide me and show me where the marketplace is. So a few days later, the Prophet ﷺ met Abdul Rahman bin Auf, and he smells like he just got married. So that wasn't zakah. Okay, that's another thing. The third thing, the zakah, there are 8 categories that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indicates in the Quran, in Surah Al-Tawbah, indicates who are those people who qualify to receive zakah. Okay, and so when it comes to, you said the Muslims, Allahu a'lam, the opinion I feel more comfortable is the money of zakah should go to the Muslims, period. the poor from the Muslims, and the masakin of the Muslims, and the travelers of the Muslims, and this and that of the Muslims, the 8 categories. Now there is the category وَالْمُؤَلَّفَةُ قُلُوبُهُم, and those who like to soften their hearts for Islam. That's where the ulama said, if you see someone who might be interested in Islam, and if you give him gifts or you give him some of the zakat, you might attract him in. That is the opinion, and respected opinion. And Allahu A'lam is someone who became Muslim and fresh in Islam, and you give him zakat so you can strengthen his heart. That is someone, the other opinion says, مُؤَلَّفَةُ قُلُوبُهُم means this. And then you have the issue of al-jihad fi sabilillah, that part of fi sabilillah. That's where a lot of differences and a lot of interpretation, what it means for the sake of Allah. Because one of the categories, fi sabilillah. Some even today, brother called me and he said, is it okay to give to Islamic school from the money of zakat? I said, based on what? Does it say Islamic schools in the 8 categories? He said, fi sabilillah. I said, well, everything fi sabilillah. When you give to the poor, fi sabilillah, I hope you're giving it fi sabilillah. When you give to the traveler who lost connection, it's fi sabilillah. So the ulama, the right opinion is that fi sabilillah only in the combative, the people, the Muslimin who are in the fighting of the enemies. Okay, that is what it means fi sabilillah. Wallahu a'lam. But if you're gonna go with opinion, like his situation was, someone gave him 500 zakat money to give it away, and he gave it to Islamic school because he asked someone from the people of knowledge, and he gave him fatwa that it's okay because Islamic schools from zakat. And some of the ulama have all these opinions that it's okay to give Islamic schools and masajid and for the da'wah, all that fi sabilillah. Well, that is opinion. They have their own reasons and they have their own understanding, so we're not going to divide the Muslims based on that and say this is haram or not. But the dalil that we go with is the ayah itself, fi sabilillah, distinguish between. Because when it comes to the Islamic schools, when it comes to the masajid, when it comes to raising the Muslim families and Muslim children, we feel that is the responsibility of the community from our own money, not the money of the zakah. Because what's happening today is you find the Muslims give zakah and he doesn't give any other penny. All he gives throughout the year is zakah. Even though some of the salaf and some of the ulama used to make sure that he gives a sadaqah every single day. Alright? So very important we understand the distinction, because once you open the doors you tell them giving to a masjid is zakah, giving to school is zakah, giving to the orphan is zakah, because the orphan is not from the 8 categories unless he becomes poor or needy. Not every orphan is qualified. Today you find a person comes and brother, do you have some money for zakah for this orphan? Okay, who's the orphan? This brother, he's just starting college. And he's orphan. What, are you going to be yatimed his whole life? Even though he lost his father or he lost his mother or both. Once the ulama said, once he reached the age of puberty, he's not orphan anymore. And he's not treated as an orphan. Okay? But the point is, once you open the door for all these, Allahu A'lam, then people will start giving to these things and neglect the other things. Because they come to the masajid every day, but they might not face or coming across a poor person every day. So they start giving the money, the zakah money, to the masajid, to the schools, all this, and then the share of the orphans or the poor and the masakin and the travelers, all that is lost. Okay, so that is one point. And second is he says, then if I have to give zakah to the masjid, then if I have to give to the masjid, I'll give from zakah. So he will not give from his own money. And again, that will be harmful to the other categories of people who really deserves this money. Alright? Allahu A'lam. But when it comes to the non-Muslims, Allahu A'lam, that they don't deserve to get, they're not qualified to receive a penny of that. Even the Muslims, not everyone deserves to receive zakah. Only specific categories of people, as Allah described. Alright. So the question is, what is better, hadiyah or sadaqah? Allahu A'lam, sadaqah is better in rewarding, but al-hadiyah can be better if it's given to a relative. If you're giving the hadiyah or the gift to a relative, it can be better because from it, the meaning of sadaqah, the reward, as well as silat al-rahim. Okay, so here you're giving sadaqah, or you're getting reward as if it's sadaqah, and you're also getting reward for taking care of your kins, of your relatives. Silat al-rahim, wal-amr يعني واسع إن شاء الله. يعني الصدقة, the adillah and the ayat and the hadith are multiple and many. So there is no need to mention. But one of the stories that, as I said, one of the tabi'een or one of the ulama, he used to make sure that he gives sadaqah every day. Okay, he used to make sure that he gives some sadaqah, whatever it's sort of, every single day. So يعني a day passed, he could not find a sadaqah. So he put the food on his back and he started walking in the streets looking for someone who deserves it. Someone who deserves. So when they told him, يعني, why you do that? He said, I heard that the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنَّ الْمُؤْمِنَ يَكُونُ فِي ظِلِّ صَدَقَتِهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. That I heard there's a hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that the believer will be under the shade of his sadaqah on the day of judgment. So I wanted to make sure that I have that shade on the day of judgment. Okay, so that is something we need to be concerned about, and we need to pay. And when we say sadaqah, that doesn't mean you have to give $1,000 or $100 or $10 or even any money. Maybe some food is sadaqah, maybe a smile is sadaqah, as the Prophet said. Maybe good words, encouragement, a word of encouragement, sadaqah. And when it comes to money, يعني push لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. You will not reach al-Jannah until you spend from that which you love. أما الهدية, the gift, is there many adillah in the sunnah of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يا نساء المسلمين يا نساء المسلمين لا تحقرن جارة لجارتها ولو في رسن شاة. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم يعني said that to the Muslim women and such, يعني thus to us, but he's directing to the Muslim women, يعني don't underestimate any sadaqah. Okay, and this can be to the giver, يعني this hadith can be directed to the giver and can be directed to the receiver, because the giver might want to give a little meat, يعني it can be some bone and has little meat on it, and say, you know, this is not meat, not much meat, it's not worth it. So the Prophet ﷺ said, do not look down at that, just give. Okay, or it means when you receive, someone gives you that, don't say, look what they're giving me. Okay, either way, as Al-Hafidh ibn Kathir or Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani rahimahullah said in the meaning of this hadith, he said either the receiver or the giver should not look down at the gift. So if you have something, give. Don't say it's not much, it's not worth it, I'll give him when it's worth it. Okay, because you can't imagine how much that harmony and love creates in the hearts of the Muslimin. أيضا جاء في صحيح البخاري عن أبي هريرة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لو دعيت إلى ذراع أو كراع لأجبت ولو أهدي إلي ذراع كراع لقبلت. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, يعني here out of his humbleness sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, whether I'm invited to too much or too little, I will accept, and I will eat. So sallallahu alaihi wasallam, يعني the hadiyah and the Muslim should look at the gift or the hadiyah, not its value, its physical value, but he should look at the meaning it carries with it, the appreciation. When someone gives you a gift, because he loves you, because he appreciates you, okay, because he wants to tell you that I care about you. So you should look at that and you should appreciate that. And some people, يعني, they take the gift and they're so happy about it and they never open it. يعني, they never look at it, because it's not the gift that it matters. Okay, what matters is the gesture. Okay, and Muslim needs to think that way. And unfortunately, you find some people, look what he brought me, and look, this is 20 cents, and this is, I can get it from here and from there and from the flea market, and that is not the point. And a Muslim is not this is not a way that he should react. And the Prophet ﷺ used to accept the gift from his guidance sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He would accept the gift that people will give him. وآكد في المسك. يعني if you want to reject a gift for whatever reason, then when it comes to misk, you should not. Because the Prophet ﷺ, when he's giving يعني, a gift, when it's perfume, يعني, I mean misk, the musk and all that, that is something he would not reject sallallahu alayhi wasallam. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من عرض عليه طيب فلا يرده فإنه خفيف الحمل طيب الرائحة. Who's being offered as a gift some misk should not reject it, should not refuse it, because it's very lightweight, but it's a beautiful smell. Okay, so here you have a specific hadith. This is in Muslim يعني بدل الطيب ريحان. Okay, but يعني the word الطيب is more authentic, stronger. Most يعني معظم الرواة استعملوا الطيب, the word الطيب. Most narrators used musk, not الريحان. But the point is, this hadith is sahih, and that is the Prophet ﷺ said, if someone gives you a gift of misk, you should not reject it. Now when a brother comes and he wants to put some misk on your hand, then you should not tell him I'm allergic and all that. Well, if you are allergic, then let him put it on your clothes. But the point is, some people, you might not even like the smell. Some brothers come, and you have to be tasteful. Some people come and the misk, misk, it's called misk, but only by the name. But when it comes to the smell, it's off. Alright? So you need to be tasteful, and you need also to be considerate. So,
what about the situation, someone comes and they say their wife is pregnant?
Well, if he gives you an excuse, then you need. Some women get bothered with this. As I said, allergic, all that. You explain to the brother and don't break his heart. But in general, I'm not going to kill myself. لا ضرر ولا ضرار. Yes, I cannot refuse it, but if it's going to harm me, then you become obligated to refuse it. All right? But in general, even if you need to push yourself a little bit, maybe you don't like it, then you should just, so you don't break the heart of your brothers. قد بوب البخاري في صحيحه قال باب ما لا يرد من الهدية ثم ساق بسنده عن أنس أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان لا يرد الطيب. Imam Bukhari رحمه الله, he put a whole section in his Sahih, in his authentic book Sahih Bukhari, and he said, narrated the hadith of Anas, and he said the chapter or the bab, the section that whoever given a musk should not, as a gift, should not refuse. Okay? So that is for sure. إذا قبول الهدية وعدم ردها مستحب. To accept the gift is recommended. Okay? It's not obligatory. It's recommended. Perhaps with the perfume or with the misk, based on this hadith, some of the ulama took it to the level of mandation or obligation to accept. When your brother wants to give you misk, extend your right hand, not the left hand. So the point is, sometimes someone it looks like a gift, but he really has an aim behind it. So sometimes you might have to refuse because it's a violation. And we'll talk about that, because some situations that we might be doing it every single day and we don't even know it's haram. And you will perhaps be surprised tonight. والهدية قد تكون محرمة. So we said in general you accept the hadiyah, and the least it's recommended mustahabba. Okay? But sometimes الهدية is haram. Haram to take it. Of course, the very first thing will come to your mind is a gift that is haram itself, for itself. And someone gonna give me a bottle of wine. Well, that is haram. Okay?
A Valentine gift.
That is another situation. Gifts for occasions that are haram. Well, I heard some of the brothers, with knowledge, he said accepting the gift during Christmas and all that is okay, but giving it is haram. Well, I just did not understand his reasoning. but it's just the idea is not about the gift. When someone wants to give you a shirt, someone wants to give you a car as a gift, يعني, for Christmas, the car is not haram, huh? The shirt is not haram itself. فهذا محرم لغيره. This is haram for the other reason, for the reason it's given. He can give you the shirt 2 days later and you will accept it. Okay? But giving the gift and accepting it for the wrong reason, that is where it's haram in some situation. Yeah. And someone gives me a gift for Christmas. Well, first of all, if I accept it, I feel obligated to give him a gift in return. That's one thing. Okay? Second, I feel I'm encouraging him to celebrate what he's doing. And forget about non-Muslims. Non-Muslims is the easy part to tell them that I don't celebrate it. It's the Muslims who celebrate these things. Yani sad. Muslims have Christmas trees in their homes and lights. They don't do that during Eid. They don't even know when Eid comes. That is where you have the difficult time. Okay? So you need to establish a stand. Oh, my mother is Christian. Oh, my brother is not practicing. Oh, my brother raised. Well, you establish a stand. He's establishing a stand. He's being strong about and convicted about his celebration. So why can't you? Yani it just doesn't make sense. Why the non-Muslim and the one who's away from Islam does what he does, and he's not ashamed of it? Why you should be ashamed when you say I can't take it because I'm Muslim? Because we don't do that. It's haram in my religion. I can't come to your gathering tonight celebrating the Christmas because I cannot. It's haram. Why we don't do that? Oh, but they come to Eid. Well, they don't have aqeedah to start with. They don't live according to principles. We have aqeedah. And our aqeedah tells us we cannot participate in the holidays of the kuffar. So you want to be Muslim, you want to spread the word, you want to make sure that you have done it and you fulfilled your duties toward Allah. That's what you need. You need to be strong. Yani being ashamed make you compromise your deen and kills your heart. Kills your heart a year after year. And trust me when I say that. This year, I'll come, but no gifts. Next year, they'll give you a gift, you will be embarrassed to say no, because you're there. But if you're not there, no one will even try to give you a gift. And then you have to congratulate them. Someone will come and say, Merry Christmas. You're not going to stay silent. Oh, Merry Christmas to you too. And start dragging little by little until they take you into their hellfire. So be aware, be strong, make a stand, because once you compromise once, it's very difficult to come back. Because when you tell them, this is against my religion, what they're going to tell you? You did it last year. Wasn't against your religion last year? So when you want to do it, again you feel ashamed. Well, they're going to bring this up. So you go along with it. No, cut it from the beginning and be honorable. Alright. That's in some of the situation. But other situation, هدية المقترض للقارض. The gift that a lender, a borrower, gives to the lender. That is haram. Yani someone, I borrowed $100 from you. I borrowed $100 from you. طيب. So 2 days later, I have to pay you in a month. 2 days later, or 2 weeks later, I bring you a gift. Now this gift, out of appreciation, yani because you helped me out when I need it. Well, you're going to say, what's $100,000? Alright? That is haram to accept. As a lender, haram to accept. لأن كل قرض جر منفعة فهو ربا. Every loan that brings benefit to the lender is considered riba. So if we establish that the transaction of depositing money in the bank is what? Wadi'a or qard? Qard. It's a loan. When you put your money in a bank, it's considered a loan. Because if it's wadi'a means يعني amana. يعني you give him the money, you tell him keep it for me. The bank doesn't do that. Because if you give someone $100 and tell him save it for me, and keep it with you for me until I come back, I don't want to leave it in the house, he has no right to use it. But the bank uses your money. Yes, he can give it to you when you need it, but he's using it. You think each person who has an account in the Bank of America has a box and they put the money he gives, they put in that? No, they mix everything. Okay? And the bank is using and making profit out of your money. Who you think they're giving loans to? From your money. Okay? So the point is, the right thing about the transaction of depositing money in the banks is qard, is a loan. You're giving the bank a loan. So if you have an account in Bank of America, you're lending so don't ever think that they're doing you a favor. You are doing them a favor. But now if Bank of America can use your money to make $1 million, millions, they use people's money to make millions, and that is permissible for them, of course, as well, if we can assume all their transactions, their investments are halal. But it's haram for you to take a penny from them or a gift. Yani you go to the bank and they say, oh, because you have a business account with us and you've been with us for more than 5 years, we're going to give you a gift certificate to go to Burger King. And all this money they made out of you, they want to give you. And that's what they do. What they give? What they getting? A pen? Small TV? Like there was a bank, what is it called? Atlantic. You open an account, they give you a gift. All that is haram. Why? Because you're lending them money and you're getting a benefit. Because when it comes to lending, it should be completely profitless and benefitless. You're giving him lending for the sake of Allah. Of course, we give it to the bank to protect our money, because that is exception, the ulama talked about. So a lender getting a gift from the borrower is haram. It's a gift, but haram to accept it. Now when can he accept it?
If it's a custom to give gifts before you sign.
No.
If you normally give him every time he would go out and
No.
after they give his money back.
Yes. Once the borrower gives back the money, he can come back and say, here is a gift, appreciating what you've done. Why it cannot be before? Because it might be a way for the borrower, for the lender, to give you more time, for example, or to overlook some of the amount. And that is, you might be embarrassing the lender. Someone, he has some shame. He might be shy from you to ask you, okay, tomorrow you have to pay. No, you go and you ask him, and he should give you some time. فإن كان ذو عسرة فنظرة إلى ميسرة كما قال الله سبحانه وتعالى. So this is one of his examples. It's haram to receive a gift. هدايا العمال. Referrals?
For the bank. If you refer somebody to open an account, you get.
Okay. You are not lending the bank any money.
No.
There is no harm with that.
But you might have an account with them.
They are not giving you the gift based on your account. Okay? Wa alaykum as-salam. For example, I borrowed $1,000 from my brother. Okay? My brother got married. No one says you cannot give him a gift. Okay? The gift for the reason of the loan, that is where it's haram. Someone, I've never given a gift, and suddenly he lent me some money, and now I want to give him a gift. That's what we're talking about. Also, what the brother said, if there was the habit, okay, not to give gift to the lender. In a society, it's normal to give gifts to someone who lends money. That is haram. Does not make it haram. But if it's the habit, between you and him relationship, and you always giving him gifts, and he always give you gifts, and one time you borrowed from him, but the gift continues, there is no problem with that. Okay? Every time I travel, I give him a gift. Now I borrowed from him. That does not mean I cannot, when I travel, I cannot bring him a gift, because I've been doing that without any return. Okay, that is something. And the other opinion, once, or the other thing, once it's paid, then you can give him a gift as a way of appreciation. هدايا العمال قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هدايا العمال غلول. The gifts of the workers is غلول. غلول يعني حرام. Money you take حرام is غلول. Okay, يعني it's not permissible to take. What does it mean هدايا العمال غلول? يعني you give someone who is getting paid. Yeah? You give him money to do his work. That is haram. Haram for you to give and haram for him to receive. For example, someone who works for a company. His job in the company to recruit independent contractors to do certain work for the company. So he comes to the independent contractor, a painter. He said, my company wants a painter. Now he's getting paid by the company to find this painter. But he comes to the painter, he tells him, if you give me 10% of what my company gonna pay you, or if you give me $100, I give you the contract. That is haram. For example, you have a store, you have a grocery store, يعني halal grocery store, and there's a distributor, يعني Arabic food, Some people looking at each other, what is halal grocery store? We don't even understand anymore how can grocery store be halal. Some Arabic dishes, Guyanese food, whatever it is. This guy, there's a distributor who brings him, let's say, olives. This distributor is not going to bring it by himself. He has people working for him. So he sent one of his guys. He said, so-and-so store wants 100 pounds of olives, so take it to him. So I take it as a worker for this distributor. I get the van, I take the 100 pounds to the store. So I give it to him. So how much? It's $1,000. Here's $1,000, and this is $20 for you. Haram. يعني الإكرامية بخشيش. Yes. Huh? Tadwa? That's what you call it?
It's not.
Don't fight. Okay? Why? Because two things. One, this worker is getting paid. So by you giving him that money, it might affect or influence his performance when it comes to you. Yani he's supposed to get you 100 pounds. He said, this guy is nice, 102, 103. Possible? Of course. Or let's get him another thing. So it's harmful to the distributor, to the employer. Second thing, now this guy expects something from you every time he comes. So the day you don't give him, he will curse you out in his heart. And that Islam comes to avoid creating any hard feelings between Muslims. Got it? So that is haram. Now we come to a very major issue. And that is in Muslim countries perhaps, or even in this country, to get your business done, you have to give. Alright? To get your job done. Yani for example, you need a permit. Maybe that's in Muslim countries that we know of more than here. You go to the department of whatever, sewage. You need a permit for some plumbing. So usually what the guy will do, who should sign the permit, you go to him and he'll open his drawer. Right? He'll open his drawer, not to get the pen to sign the permit, for you to put something in it. Why? because he will not sign unless he gets some tips. That's called what? Rashwa. Okay, that's bribe. Because his job is to sign if you qualify. If you meet all the requirements, his job to sign. But he wants money. Okay? The good news with that is a lot of the ulama allowed that. Not for the guy who's taking it, for the guy who needs the permit. Because they are holding and they're withholding and they're harming the beneficiaries. They're harming those people who need these permits to continue their houses or their homes or their businesses. So now you're in a position, I'm stuck. Of course you have to try your best if you can complain about this guy, but perhaps part of what you're putting in the drawer goes to his boss. It's a mafia. So when you realize you cannot complain, then the ulama permits. It's permissible for you to give, not for him to take. So the fatwa says if you give him, even though it's rashwa, but if you give him, it's rashwa, the definition is right, it's not accurate, but if you give him, you're not blamed, but he is held accountable because he is the one who is forcing you into it. Prophet ﷺ told the man Ibn al-Lutabiyya, sends him to collect zakah. So he comes back to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, this is zakah, this is zakah, this is zakah. Oh, they gave it to me as a gift. It's not zakah. You got your zakah, this is a gift. فَغَضِبَ النَّبِي صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. The Prophet ﷺ got upset and he took the minbar and he gave a khutbah and he said, مَا بَالُ الرَّجُلِ, what's the deal with a man أبعته ليجب الزكاة, to bring the zakah, or كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, فيرجع فيقول هذا لكم وهذا أهدي لي. He comes back, he gives us, he said, this is the zakah and this was given to me as a gift. هلا جلس في بيت أمه وأبيه فينظر أيهدى له. Shouldn't he sit and stay in his parents' home and see if they're going to ever think about giving him a gift? If we did not send him to bring the zakah, would these people ever given him any gift? Of course not. So the gift here becomes doubtful. Doubtful, because now I have to collect 100,000 dinar from you as zakah. Now because you gave me a gift, 90,000, 80,000. And that's happening everywhere in the world, isn't it? So the Prophet, so this is the idea. If the person who's going to give the gift for doing a job, the question is, if he stays home, will he get it or not? If he doesn't get it, then that means it falls in this hadith and it's haram. That is hadiyat al-ummal. If he gonna get it either way, okay, that means it's okay. What does that mean? Someone wants to give me a gift because he knows me, not because of my job. So if I stay home, I'm going to get the gift either way. Or if I have this job, I'm going to get the gift. But if he's giving me the gift just to get his job done, it's haram. Alright? Now, this involves gifts to your boss. Someone who gives you evaluation. Someone who's in charge of you, you give him gifts. If he stays home, will he get the gift? If he's not your boss, will you ever care about giving him a gift? You will not. That involves giving gifts to the muwaddafin, to people who work to get people's transactions finished, in the government and whatever. You need him, you give him a gift, that is to get you the job done, that is haram. Even some of the ulama said the gift the student gives to his teacher. Of course, that when there's grading and there's school and that, because that influences his evaluation, the grades. And how we hear about this stuff all the time. Okay? You don't give me a gift, you don't give me this, you don't give me that, you don't get an A. Allah, some of the students who studied in one of the Arab countries, no need to mention what school, it's university, and that's the way. Even there's a recording on the internet, I don't know if any of you heard it. It's a student who's studying in one of the universities in one of the Arab countries, and he records the conversation with one of the teachers, huh? And he's failing, the student is failing. So he starts talking to him. Okay, if the teacher tells him, what you gonna give? He said, I want a good grade. The student saying, I want a good grade. He said, well, you're failing, but based on what you give is the grade you get. Allah, this is a conversation. This is a professor in a university. Okay, and that is happening. So it's very, there is one of the students, one of the doctors I know, and he studied in one of those universities, and he said one exam, the final, the teacher didn't get anything. So he comes to the class, or after they finish the test, they turn in the papers, huh? So he grabs the papers, and that's the final. You failed the final, you failed the class, you have to repeat. And he said, I'm going to throw it in the air, throw the papers in the air. The paper that doesn't come down, pass. The paper, wallah, the paper that doesn't come down, pass. Yeah. And another teacher would be getting drunk while he's grading. Getting drunk in his office. You think he's grading, he will, because the exam's is a booklet. So he will grab the booklet and throw it. If it goes underneath the door, pass. That is the reality. Okay? But if you would have paid that guy, you would have made sure that it goes underneath the door. Alright, so hadaya al-ummal ghulul. Now, what is the difference? How can I distinguish between hadiyah and rashwa? Rashwa, the Prophet ﷺ la'ana al-rashi wal-murtashi. Prophet ﷺ cursed, out of the mercy of Allah, the one who gives a bribe and the one who receives it. But how can I distinguish? Okay. Rashwa is usually given لإبطال حق أو إحقاق باطل. Rashwa, bribe, is given to take away someone's right. Okay? Or to give the right to someone who's at fault. So when there is haqq, you give rashwa to destroy this haqq. If there is batil, you give rashwa to elevate this batil. So the person who comes to get his papers done, because he needs a permit, when they tell him you have to pay, so he give that money, is he destroying a haqq or elevating a batil?
No.
Neither. Related to him, nothing. He needs his haqq, so he's elevating haqq. He's getting his rights. He has to pay. So that is why this is not considered rashwa. That is why the ulama said it's permissible on his part to give, but it's not permissible on the part of the worker. It's not rashwa for the worker, it's hadiyat al-am. It's a gift he's taken to do his job, and that is haram. But if the haqq cannot be achieved but by paying or giving a gift, then you have no exit, you have no outlet. Okay? So if there is no putting down haqq and taking away someone's rights because you pay, for example, two people work in the same department, one of them is genius, he deserves to get the promotion, so the other one goes to the boss and he gives him some money. So he gets the promotion, not the other guy. Is there any batil elevated and any haqq destroyed? Obviously. That is rashwa. Okay? So that is the very precise or very subtle difference between rashwa and الهدية. أجاز كثير من العلماء بذل الرشوة لدفع ظلم أو للوصول إلى حق. So usually when you give الرشوة, as we said, to destroy haqq or elevate batil. But some of the ulama allow it when you have to give it to raise haqq and destroy batil. Okay? As the example we had given. وقد اختار شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية هذا الرأي فقال هذا هو المنقول عن السلف وعن الأئمة الأكابر. وقال ابن القيم فإن رشى لدفع الظلم عن نفسه اختص المرتشي وحده باللعنة. So the bottom line is, if I have to give bribe to protect myself from any oppression, يعني you live in a country and if someone goes to the masjid, they arrest him. You know, there are countries like that, Muslim countries, suppose. So the police, the guy who's supposed to arrest you, comes to your house. Okay, we're arresting you. We have a warrant. Why? Because you came to Fajr. We saw you praying Fajr 3 days in a row. Fajr, Fajr, Fajr in the masjid. That is, you're dangerous. So we have to arrest you. You have 2 people coming to arrest you. So you go and say, give me a minute. You go inside, you bring $100, you bring some food, you bring some shirt, you bring a gift. You tell him, listen, let's let it go. You're allowed to do that, because this way you're protecting yourself from transgression, from dhulm. Okay? But let's say, and it's haram for him to do, it's haram for him to do what he's doing anyway. Or, for example, you stole and they're coming to arrest you. Can we say you're pushing away dhulm, you're giving him? Of course not. Because this way you're destroying the haqq. So I'm sure you got the point. قال المؤلف رحمه الله وتصح بالإيجاب والقبول والعطية المقترنة بما يدل عليها فما عده الناس في عرفهم أنه هبة أو هدية فإنها تنعقد به والأمر في ذلك واسع. يعني here, if I bring you a gift, that is إيجاب, you take the gift, that is قبول, that is يعني there is no contract for a gift. You don't have to write a paper. So usually the customs, I give you a gift, you take it, alhamdulillah, it's the whole issue is over. Okay? وتلزم بالقبض. Now, what that means is, once al-hadiyya is accepted, that is haram for you to take it back. But if I come and I tell you, you know what, I'm going to give you a gift. Or I'm traveling and I bring you a gift. I bring you a Lamborghini. I'm just being generous tonight. Enjoy it. Alright? I'm going to give you a gift. So when I come, I didn't give you the gift. There's no problem. I promised. Now, as a Muslim, if I promise, I'll bring. But I'm not obligated to bring. So if I tell someone, I will give you a gift, and I don't, there is no blame. But if I give him a gift, and he takes it, then it's haram for me to take it back. Alright? That is قوله وتلزم بالقبض. So al-wahib, he has the option to change his mind as long as the gift is not turning. Okay? And that is where the ulama take the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, الراجع في صدقته كالكلب يبلع قيئه, that the one who changed his mind about his sadaqah is like a dog swallowing back his vomit. Okay, so they said that is when it's taken. If the gift is collected, and he changed his mind, he wants it back, then that is where the problem takes place. One exception. Okay, one exception, and that is the gift that the father gives to his son. And the father and the mother, when it comes to the son and the kids, they have their own laws. They have their own exceptions for a lot of rules. يقول in the أثر نحل أم المؤمنين عائشة رضي الله عنها ابنته عن أبي بكر نحلها 20 وسقا من ماله بالغابة فلما حضرته الوفاة قال والله يا بني ما أحد أحب إلى غنى بعدي منك وما أحد أعز علي فقرا منك وقد كنت نحلتك 20 وسقا فلو كنت حزتيه أو قبضتيه كان لك وإنما هو اليوم مال وارث فاقتسموه بينكم على كتاب الله. So here Abu Bakr radiallahu anh tells Aisha, I gave you X amount of fruits from so and so garden, if you had taken it, then keep it. And I promised you, if you had collected it, then keep it. But if you haven't, then it has to go in the mirath. It has to be distributed on the heirs or the inheritors. وهذا قول عمر وعثمان وعلي. This is the opinion of all the khulafa. So the bottom line is, as long as the gift is not collected, it's still permissible for you to change your mind. But once it's collected, it's haram, and some said it's makruh, but حرمتي أقرب. قول البروفيت صلى الله عليه وسلم: ليس لنا مثل السوء العائد في هبته كالكلب يقيء ثم يعود في قيئه. حديث الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم. يعني الإمام الشافعي said: ليس لنا مثل السوء or السوء, يعني it's not one of us who, this is a bad example for one of us to do. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever comes back, that's what the Prophet said, it's a bad example to decide to give sadaqah and then take it back, or hadiyah. So that is where يعني ده دليل. قال المؤلف: إلا الأب يعني فيجوز للأب أن يرجع في هبته لولده. Except the father, he can change his mind and take back his gift that he had given to his son. حديث صحيح: لا يحل لأحد أن يعطي عطية فيرجع فيها إلا الوالد فيما يعطي ولده. Okay, so that is the bottom line. Except the father or the mother, if they give a gift to the son, okay, they can ask for it. ولا يجوز من وهب هبة أو تصدق بصدقة أن يشتريها من صاحبها. And it's not permissible to buy back a gift that you gave someone. Umar bin Khattab gave a man a horse to be used fi sabilillah. So this man did not take care of the horse. Okay? So the man decided to sell it. He did not know, maybe he did not take care, he didn't have time, whatever, so he wants it because it's a gift, it's his own property. And the hadith or the famous saying that you hear, al-hadiyatu la tu'ta wa la tuba', that is not valid. That, first of all, it's not hadith. That the gift should not be gifted again or sold. That has no basis. Once you get a gift, you have the right to do whatever you want with it. It's your property. Tamlik, remember the definition? It's your property, you do whatever. But of course, yani, you don't rewrap it and take it to the same guy. As some people do. You give a gift when someone is born, you take them a gift, and suddenly once you have a baby, they bring you the same gift. They don't know, but they bring you the same gift. Okay? So, but even that is permissible. Yani. But the point is, Umar gave this man a horse to use it fi sabilillah. So the man did not take care of it, so he wanted to sell it. So Umar wanted to buy it back. Wanted to buy it from him. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: لا تشتريه ولو أعطاكه بدرهم فإن العائد في صدقته كالكلب يبلع قيئه. Prophet ﷺ forbade Umar from buying it back. Why?
Because he gave a gift to him.
Yeah, but he's buying it.
Because he wants the horse to keep fighting for Sabilillah.
No.
He wants to say,
No, why it's haram to buy it? In general, to buy a gift that you gave someone.
Maybe the price wouldn't be right. It will be the person who's selling it.
What are you watching? The price is not right.
I go to Yellow Cab, Fort Airport. I contract $50.
Okay.
I go to airport, $50 and $10 gift. Halal, not halal.
This is your own job. Driving the cab is your own job. You have an agreement with the owner of the cab that you give him every week $500, right? Is that the way it works? And whatever you make over that is yours. Right or wrong? So that gift he's giving you, or that gift as a gift, there is no harm. It's not going to influence your performance. You got it? You see the difference? Because whether he gives you or not, you're going to do your job. But sometimes, even some of the ulama talked and a lot actually about the tips, and they said tip is haram. And You have to?
Waitress, they work on tips,
Huh?
Waitress, they work on tips.
Here we go.
That's why your point
Now
is a good example.
we're going into details, into scenarios. Okay? Inshallah, can we keep this until the next week? So I make sure you come. All right? Because it's really, we're running out of time, and I didn't even start yet. Hasbi Allah. Because we're almost done with the transactions. Maybe 2 more weeks. Inshallah. Okay? But with you, in your case, it's really, it's your job. Okay? You're not working for someone. So you're not a worker. It's your own business. For example, I'm a dentist, I take someone's tooth. How much? $100. You know what? You did a great job. $120. There is nothing wrong with that. And that's what he's doing. We call it tips, but when it comes to the definition of tips, it's not tips. It's appreciation, it's a gift. But with the job, with the waitress and other people, that's they are doing. They are getting paid for their job. Actually, the job as a waiter is haram. To work a job as employee, okay, based or for unknown amount of money is haram. Commission is different. But if, for example, I hire someone and I tell him, like they do in restaurants, I'm going to pay you $2 an hour, and it's what you make from your tips. That is haram. Because when it comes to ijara, that is, you're renting him, you're renting this person, if I can use the term renting. When it comes to renting, they have to agree on the price. There's a word for it. On the compensation. The compensation has to be known from the beginning. And the waitress job, regardless of if they are haram servicing, but beside that, it's not known. The compensation is not known. So the job itself is not permissible. Okay, got it? Because it's ijara. Cannot hire someone and tell him, well, I'll pay you whatever I feel like. No. So that is where the whole issue comes. But in general, tips are haram. Okay. So we finish with this.
Why you can't buy gift?
You know, this topic will never end. Inshallah, we'll talk about it. What is it? What's your question?
No.
What is yours? Ihsan?
Why Omar couldn't buy his?
Why? In general, not Umar. I'm saying, why in general you cannot buy back the gift? Someone said, what the last thing you said? The price.
Yeah.
That's the point. It's because if I gave a gift, I gave this book to someone as a gift, and then I find out he wants to sell it. So I go and say, sell it to me. So he might be even embarrassed to take any money from me. Or he might give me a big discount. So this way, we put him in a position, because it's his, so he's entitled to collect as much money as he can based on the value. So because it's me who gave him that, and now I want to buy it back, he might be embarrassed, so he might waive some of his rights out of embarrassment. Okay? So that's why it's haram for the gift giver to buy back his gift if the gift receiver decides to sell it. Alright? Okay. So inshallah we stop here, and next time we're going to talk about giving gifts to kids, to your children, and sawiyya fil atiyya, okay? And how the balance when you give to your kids, sometimes it's okay to give one more than the other, and sometimes, or most of the time, it's not okay. And we'll talk about the details, and it's very, very important issue. Alright? قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.